and welcome to Making Fun, the show where I make content and sometimes I put it on the internet. Because, yeah.
Meow, meow.
Making fun.
I wanted to make some Halloween content that was not related to the haunted house. I had a lot of content planned for Halloween this year, and I've done two of the things I planned for the Halloween content this year. We got a little hyper fixated on the haunted house, and a lot of work went into it. If you haven't seen the two videos around the haunted house that Tavis and I helped make this year, check them out. They'll either be in the cards or in the description, or go subscribe to our channel, and that's a good way to find all of our videos really easily. I knew I wanted to make something inspired by the carousel that comes out of Beetlejuice's head in the movie. Not exactly that, because I didn't feel like making a replica. I didn't want my focus to be on making it exact. I wanted to do my own thing, something that I would enjoy. But then I was like, that sounds really hard. Making a carousel from scratch, I don't have time to do that. That involves a lot of things that I'm just not here for right now, and I don't have time for in my life. And then a couple of days later, Tavis and I ended up at our local Goodwill, like we do a lot, and I found a Christmas carousel. I fell in love with it. Anytime I see a carousel horse at Goodwill, I buy it. It's just like a rule I have, I guess, that I must buy it and then gothify it. This is something I have done. I actually filmed videos for this last year, but they didn't make it into the Halloween cycle, and they probably never will. Basically, this was right up my alley, and I wanted to do it kind of Beetlejuice inspired, but also just my own vibe and free-flowing creativity, and this is how it turned out. About halfway through making this, I started getting really frustrated because I went to like 3 different craft stores to try and find the little skulls that I needed for this. And of course, everywhere I went, it was Christmas already, even though it was just the beginning of October. So Tavis decided that the narrative for this story is that since Christmas has started to move further and further back towards Halloween, I'm just gonna take over Christmas and make it Halloween themed now. So now I'm just wrecking Christmas things and making them Halloween.
This is the Goodwill Christmas carousel that I started out with. The first thing I did was remove various limbs and other pieces from these horses. In these shots, you'll see me going at it with pliers and an X-Acto knife, but I ended up using a Dremel in the end. I just never recorded it. After I got all the pieces off that I wanted, I super glued them on in different places, like this poor guy whose head is going back on upside down. Or this one who's got an extra pair of legs, or legs not where he originally intended them to be. I also used bits and pieces from a collection of dollar store bugs and glued them on in certain places to give a different kind of dimension and texture to everything. Once I had everything glued in place, I went around with my knife again and carved everything down so it looked good. And then I came in with air dry clay. This is good quality air dry clay that doesn't crack and fall apart like in many other projects I've used. And I used it to either smooth out the joints between some of the places that I glued, or I created fins and tails and weird head extensions, and I didn't have a plan. I just kind of made things, and if it looked weird, I went with it. This guy that I'm currently working on is incredibly weird, and yeah. When the air dry clay dried, I came in with my files and sanded everything down so it looked nice and smooth. Then I gave every single horse and all of the plastic pieces a good coat of Mod Podge to make sure that the air dry clay wouldn't crumble and to give my paint a surface to stick to. I painted the top and bottom of the carousel black, and then I also painted every single horse black as well. One of my favorite painting techniques was to turn the carousel on and watch all the horses spin to see if there were any spots that I missed. And also just to make sure it worked as I went through this project and that the weight I was adding to it didn't stop the mechanisms. Each horse got an individual color, mostly greens and purples and some blues as well. Again, I didn't have any plans or decisions. I just did what felt right or what looked right, and yeah. To make the carousel more Tim Burton inspired, I of course added the black and white stripes, which are so iconic of his art style. I did radial stripes from the center for the floor, and then I painted the horses some more because clearly I missed some spots and had to come back and paint them again once I had a light on them and could actually see just how patchy they were. I also repainted the top of the carousel. It was this lovely red and cream colored velvet that I had to go in and paint black and white. I dry brushed white on the top and bottom of the carousel and painted the outer railing silver. I painted the very top of the carousel with a nice silver ribbon to make it all inclusive, and then I painted each horse differently. This guy I gave a bunch of stripes to. Some of them have polka dots. Some of them are just weird and random and were the subject of whatever my brain was doing at that moment. I bought a bag of small plastic skulls online and glued each of them into the little cameo spaces on the top of the carousel. And then I super glued a piece of ribbon around the base to cover up these holes where the wreath had originally been. And lastly, I finished it off with some skull-shaped washi tape just to smooth out the edges of the paint's transition.
It came out really well. Now I have to figure out where I'm going to put it, which is the eternal struggle of being a maker and being a person who makes things that have to go somewhere in their house. That's also why the haunted house is so great, because those things get to stay there. Here she is. I really enjoy it. Some of these I like more than others. I love, of course, this Kelpie that I made. And, you know, this guy didn't do a ton with, but he's great. And the little wyvern. I don't know what this is, and I don't know why it came out of my brain. And I want it to go back along with this one. I don't know why this one's here. And, yeah. I love that it still plays Christmas music. Like, it's functionally still a Christmas toy. I think it's hilarious. But I do find it very amusing that it is in fact still a Christmas decoration because it plays Christmas music, and it will definitely be a part of our Christmas decor this year. Check out our haunted house videos as well. They're going to be really cool. Last Halloween video of the season, and we're not jumping right into Christmas in November. We've got plans. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. I don't know why my hair decided to be straight today, but we're gonna work with it. Same could be said for my sexuality. I'm gonna be honest, you guys, my hyperfixation on this project ended like 2 weeks ago, so we're gonna try and drum up some enthusiasm for this video. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, yeah. I'm gonna say it 3 times, and maybe Michael Keaton will appear and do this talking head for me. What is this? What is this? What am I talking about? I have like a very love-hate relationship with Tim Burton movies. Either it's something I love or something that needs to like be burnt and go down in flames. I will never be okay with what he did to Sweetie Todd. This is why in the intros with Tavis, when it's just the two of us, I just disassociate next to him, because this is like really hard for me to do. If you've watched like a bunch of our videos in the past, you might have noticed that like I tend to disassociate while Tavis just does the intro and I just stand there looking off in the distance all awkward and flustered. Yeah, this is why. I'm not good at this. I edit it to make it look like I'm better at it than I am, but I'm not. Do I have anything actually useful to say? Halloween, Christmas, carousel horses, Beetlejuice-ish. I'm making this to avoid editing. I don't know what to do when Tavis is at work. Wait, I hate this. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? I hate recording these videos. One day, they will find all of this footage of me just talking to this camera like an insane person. And they'll understand why I disappeared into the woods.